Now to start adjusting the exposure of this image, we're going to be working with the sliders right underneath the white balance slider. So we're going to come down here, we're going to be working with these that say exposure, recovery, fill light, blacks, brightness, and contrast. Now you'll notice two of these sliders are new, as we pointed out in the interface lesson, the recovery slider and the fill light slider, and we'll get to exactly what those do in just a second. Since we're working with an image that came directly from our camera's sensor, we actually have a lot more detail in the areas that have problems than we originally think. So, for instance, there's some really dark portions of this image where we're losing detail in our shadow areas. And what I want to do is go ahead and adjust the exposure so we can bring back some of those details, yet I still want to maintain my highlights and my midtones as well. So let's go ahead and start adjusting the exposure and just see what happens. When I start to push the exposure up, you'll notice that I start to bring back some of the details in the shadows. See, that detail is still there, but we're losing a lot of information right in here in our highlight values. So what we need to do is we need to start working with some of these newer sliders to help us in recovering those areas. So this slider is aptly named the recovery slider. So what we're going to do is just start to drag it to the right. And as I start dragging, you should notice that some of that clouded area behind the building should start to return. Now, as I keep dragging it, more and more of the clouds should come in until we have almost the same amount of clouds as we had in the original. But at the same time, we're still maintaining that detail in our shaded areas where we had brought back some light in there, and we're still getting a better overall image as well. Now, this other slider that I was talking about, the fill light slider, is a great innovation to the new Camera Raw. It's something that allows you to brighten up the areas of the shadows by adding sort of a predetermined light source to your image.